What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of the Ultimate Customizer Pack. This thing, the most tactical thing that Nerf has released like ever. I mean, seriously, holy tactics Batman. It's all based on a Demolisher, which is kind of boring, but the attachments here are just super cool. I mean, look at that stock. I mean, come on. Just look at the tactics, absorb those tactics. And this rail attachment thing, like, wow. I'm getting too excited, I don't know where to start. Let's just get into the review. Holy mother of tactics, are you ready for this? Included, Demolisher Blaster, 2 10-round magazines, stock, barrel, 3X rail attachment, flashlight attachment, flip-up sight, mag holder attachment, missile holder attachment, 4 missiles, 40 elite darts, and the instructions. Almost out of breath. That is a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. Super excited to go over all of these attachments with you. Just to be clear, this is a Demolisher reskin. It's just a repaint. It works just like the old Demolisher, which is a semi-auto flywheel blaster with a missile launcher. The cool part about this combo kit is first, like the Demolisher reskin, pretty cool, but these attachments are epic. But it looks like a giant blob, so just to talk about the Demolisher, I will take everything off. So this is just the Demolisher with the 10-round magazine. I'm sure it looks familiar because it's just a reskin. It's not orange like the old Demolisher. As far as I can tell, it's the exact same. The performance is very similar, but just a quick rundown of the blaster. Up front, an in-strike barrel attachment lug, so you can put on whatever barrel extensions you like. Next to that, on each side, you have 2 front sling attachment points. Up top, you have an in-strike tactical rail, compatible with any in-strike tactical attachment you'd like to put on up there. Up front is a missile launcher, which is pretty cool. This blaster, just like the original Demolisher, shoots these Nerf missiles and includes 4 with this combo pack. The front missile launcher is air-powered, but it's not like a compressed air, it's just manual power. So to fire, you can front-load your missile like that. Then to launch the missile, you pull out on this handle, and there's no suspension or like a spring return, so I can just pull it out like that. And to fire, you very quickly return the gray handle, so it is dependent on how fast you pump that. If you go real slow like that, you won't even fire. So the idea is to very quickly launch the missile. I chronoed the missile launcher, but it is dependent on the user if you pump fast or slow. It's not like stored energy like with a spring-powered blaster or even a flywheel-powered blaster. Moving on, we have an in-strike tactical rail over on the side. Up top, we have an access door. You can open that up to clear out jams or malfunctions. I did not have any jams or malfunctions through my testing procedure. On the other side, we have the battery tray. This blaster runs on 4 AA alkaline batteries. Moving down to the magazine and the magazine well, to remove the magazine, you strike the magazine release right here. The mag release is center aligned, so a right and left-handed user can use it equally. So you push that and pull out the magazine. It is compatible with any in-strike mags, but this combo includes 2 10-round banana mags. So after that's loaded, you can just slide it on in there. Moving back to the trigger unit, the Demolisher blaster is a semi-auto blaster. It's very similar to the Strife. It's not fully automatic like the Rapid Strike or the Hyperfire. And below that firing trigger is the rev trigger. Of course, you want to rev the blaster for a moment before you pull the primary trigger. To the grip, now this grip is a little smaller than I'd say the Elite average is, but it's pretty comfortable. There's nothing jutting out and making your hand uncomfortable or anything like that. I'm an adult, I have a big hand, and I can get my hand around this just fine. But the ergonomics of the Demolisher are kind of weird anyway, so not much attention's going into your hand because you have this giant missile launcher up front, which kind of, you know, screws with the weighting. So it's a little weird, but it works. And at the all the way bottom, we have a sling or lanyard mount. And up top, we have a stock attachment point, which is compatible with in-strike stocks. That is the external overview of the Demolisher blaster. Again, this is the exact same as the original Demolisher, which was orange. This is just a repaint. I don't mean to diminish the blaster because the Demolisher works just fine if you really want a missile launcher. It's a pretty compact, already integrated blaster. A lot of modders add stuff like this to blasters, and you don't have to mod anything or glue anything together. Right out of the box, it comes with a missile launcher, which is pretty cool. But since you've probably already used a Demolisher, not really important, let's get to the attachments. First up, this super cool adjustable stock. It's a normal in-strike stock, so you can put it on any blaster. Just slips on in there just like any other stock. This one has 3 points of adjustability, which is just super tactical. I mean, excessive, but super cool. You can adjust the length of it by pulling out right there, and then it locks into the rear position. You don't have to unlock it to pull it out to extend it, but to collapse it, you do have to unlock it. So it is pretty stable. You can put quite a bit of weight against it with your shoulder, and it won't collapse on you. But if you want to collapse it for storage, or if you have a smaller body, you press this little button, and that unlocks it so you can push it forward. Up top, we have a little cheek riser, which is also adjustable. So you push this little orange button here, and then lift up on it like that. On this particular blaster, I don't think there's a good reason to use the cheek riser, but on different blasters, it can elevate your face a little bit if you like actually want to look through your scope. Realistically, it's just for the looks. It looks freaking awesome, especially with this thing popped out as well. So the little cheek piece comes up to adjust upward, and then this back piece, if you strike this other orange button, can come out even further. So the whole stock moves back off the buffer tube. This little cheek riser elevates, and then this also moves back. So it looks freaking awesome, and it's adjustable, so I'm sure this will fit pretty much anybody. It can collapse to a pretty small size, but then also extend out for a bigger person like me. And the locking point of this is also also pretty stable, so if you put a bunch of pressure on your shoulder, it shouldn't collapse on you. Like the old Raider stock, that's kind of known for being a really unstable stock, so if you apply pressure to it, it'll collapse on you, and that's kind of annoying. So nice and stable, nice and solid. Then under here, we also have a little sling attachment point, and above that, we have an Instrike Tacticool rail. What you'd want to attach to your stock, I don't know, but it's awesome that there's a rail there, so if you want to put something there, you totally can. How cool is that? I don't know, you could put the little mag accessory, you put anything there, you could put a scope there if you want to go gangster mode and shoot sideways. I mean, whatevs. I've said it a million times, rails when they're not being used really don't occupy that much space. Like, that's not cluttering or adding like a catch point. So it just looks super cool if you don't want to use it, and if you want to use it, it's there. Awesome. So that's the overview of the stock. I think it looks super cool, very tactical, 3 points of adjustability. I mean, it's awesome. I'm geeking out over all of these products, these new things on the market. I mean, geez, they just added rails everywhere. It's just like, holy tactics, Batman. I'm about to like explode, if you know what I mean. So that is the stock. Moving on to the next attachment, the magazine holder. This product is designed to attach to an Instrike rail, just like a scope or a bipod or anything, and its function is to hold a Nerf magazine at the ready. It's pretty much like a magazine well attached to your blaster. Of course, the blaster doesn't feed from this magazine, but it's there to reload faster. So at the bottom here, it looks like a magazine well, like pretty much the same. And in the back, it has a little magazine release. This whole thing looks like they just pulled it right off of a Raider or like a Rampage and then stuck on the little attachment point. It's super cool. So you can get your magazine and slide it in there, then it holds it. So if you want to attach that to your blaster, you totally can. So you're pew-pewing and you drop your empty mag and then you can grab that and reload without going to your body like off a pouch or something like that. The security of the magazine into the carrier is really strong, and that's done very well. And the attachment of this mechanism to the blaster is done as well as any other attachment, but bear in mind, if you attach like a 35-round drum or something really heavy, or you slosh your blaster around, it can pop off. It's designed well, it's manufactured well, I'm not complaining about that, but the Instrike attachment lug is not as strong as, you know, like a Picatinny or a Weaver style rail. It works quite well with the 10-round magazines, and with the 18-round magazines, it like mechanically worked, but it was a very long magazine to hold onto the blaster. But when I put in the 35-round drum and did some hardcore parkour in my testing procedure, it would pop off of the blaster occasionally. But that is the Ready Mag attachment, or whatever they call it. Next attachment is super cool, and I've been asking for one of these. It's a rail like adapter converter thing. It adds additional rails to your rails. Like, yo dog, I heard you like rails. So this component has a rail attachment point to clip onto an Instrike Tacticool rail, and then has 3 Instrike rails on the top. And the side 2 are adjustable. It's almost like little wings. So you can adjust them downward if you want to adjust the like orientation of whatever you attach there, or to wrap it around a blaster. So you can put that onto a rail that provides 3 rails. Obviously I already had 1 rail, but it really adds just 2 more on the sides. So if you wanted to put 3 scopes in a row, and I mean, you could, I don't know why, but you can, or you can pull them down like that in order to have essentially like a side-oriented rail. It's adjustable and it locks into various angles, so this is more or less like 0 degrees, and then it can adjust down to 45 degrees, and then all the way down to 90 degrees. And that can change the orientation of your scope, your attachment, your flashlight, whatever you want to put onto these rails, which is super cool. So if you're like, bro, I need more tactics, but I don't have any rails to attach my tactics to my blaster, this thing allows you to do that. Rails upon rails, oh man. And just like the limitation of the magazine, like Ready Mag attachment, it is just a normal Nerf Instrike attachment, so there is a little bit of flex there. I didn't experience any issues if I'm using lightweight Nerf attachments, but like the heavier ones that include batteries, like the night vision scope, added quite a bit of wobble, because it's another point of connection for a little bit more mechanical slop and wobbling. Not a complaint, just acknowledging the limitations of an attachment like this. Don't put anything too heavy on there. If you use like the lighter stuff, it works wonderfully and it looks freaking awesome. On to the next attachment, the barrel attachment. This one is also new. It attaches just like any other barrel attachment like that, and it's compatible with any Nerf blaster with an Instrike attachment lug up front. The length of the barrel is similar to the Modulus long-range barrel, and it's similar-ish in shape. However, this one has 3 Tacticool rails. One on the top, one on the bottom, and then one on the side here. They didn't put one over here, and I'm not sure why. Bunch of dead space, they totally could have, but you know, that'll be the next thing they release maybe, I don't know. It looks a little bit plainer by design. They don't have as many colors all over it, so if you want something a little different than the long-range barrel and with more rails, which who doesn't want more rails on your blaster, like honestly, this is a pretty cool attachment with additional stuff. And the inner diameter, just to note, is similar to the other narrow, thin barrels. So it does have the potential to negatively affect your performance by making the dart bounce off the inner barrel and damage your firing velocity and your consistency through accuracy. No more or less than the Modulus long-range barrel from my brief tests of comparison, but a welcome barrel addition to the already huge Modulus collection. I mean, geez, this thing is just blowing out of control. They have attachments for everything, and now they have so many attachments that they needed to have an attachment to attach more attachments to your attachment. Like, holy tactics, Batman. And now I can't stop thinking, like, what if I bought like 10 of these and attached like them in a row, so then you just had a bunch of rails on the side. Oh my gosh, the possibilities, the possibilities. Moving on, and this video is going to be like 45 minutes long. That is the barrel. Now to the missile holding attachment. This is a complement to the Demolisher missile launcher. It has an in-strike attachment point right here to slide on to an in-strike tactical rail, and up top it has 3 little fake barrels to hold missiles. So there are 3 little stubs right there that very much resemble the internal missile like barrel holder thing. It's the same size and all that. So then when you want to put on your missile, you can just push it on just like you're loading your Demolisher missile launcher. And it holds 3. Like that. This whole orange unit can spin, so when you slide it onto the blaster, you can change the orientation of the missiles like this. And that's convenient, so if you want to slide it onto this rail and my missiles are pointed down, if I wanted to reload like that, I can pull it up, so then my missiles are pointed forward. Plus from the side view, that looks freaking intimidating. The opponents don't know I can't shoot all 3 at once, but it looks like I can, right? Or if you want to point them upward or whatever, you know, it rotates and locks every 90 degrees. If you just put it on the same rail, it's not a big deal, but then if you wanted to, you know, put it over here or whatever, and just rotate it, that's nice to adjust. However, I found the ability to adjust that on that like rotation system puts in yet another adjustment or slop point. It adds more mechanical sway, more or less. So it has the attachment point to wobble and also this little like circular like mechanical thing. So this is a pretty wobbly attachment. So when I was very quickly trying to reload like that, you have to watch how you attach this one to your blaster. It doesn't always do that, but there is a little bit of slop. So, you know, it could be a little firmer. That's what she said. If this was the only new attachment, I'd totally be like, that's really cool. That's really well executed. But I'm looking at all of this other stuff, which kind of, you know, suppresses my energy towards this thing. It's the first of its kind to hold 3 Demolisher missiles at the ready. So if you're a big missile launcher guy, this is very convenient to not have to carry them on your body. And I mean, shoot, I'll just put it on my Strife. Even if I don't have a missile launcher, that looks freaking awesome, especially when they're pointed forward like that. So that is the missile holding attachment. Now these 4 attachments in the stock that I just went over are completely brand new, very cool, innovative mechanical designs. They're well thought out. They add something completely new to the Modulus series, which has not been, you know, well, the barrel's pretty much like something else, but these other 3 things are completely brand new and super cool. But these last 2 attachments are reskins. Well, this is a reskin. This is an exact copy of the existing attachment. So they're cool, but they're not brand new. So if they look familiar, it's because, you know, they exist already. First, the flashlight. This is an existing product. It has an in-strike attachment point on the bottom, so you can slide it onto a rail. It's a pretty low profile flashlight. It's not super bulky like some of the other options like the Recon flashlight and that new Zambi Strike one. It runs on 3 AAA batteries, which are installed under this battery plate. You remove the screw, put in your batteries, and you're good. And to turn on the flashlight, there's a simple on-off switch. It's off, and then now it's on. And well, on is a strong word for it. It's a very dim light. I've mentioned this on my channel before. Nerf can't really provide a very high power flashlight. If you're like an HVZer and you need a strong torch, you can make one or just buy like a $10 one from Home Depot and zip tie it to your blaster. For legal reasons, like a kid who shines this at like somebody else's face could result in you know, legal action. So of course a toy company's not gonna give you something that can hurt somebody, which is funny because I could pick this up and just chuck it at somebody and that's my fault. But then if I shine a light at you, it's obviously Nerf's fault. Ugh, people are stupid. So the light's super dim. I think the attachment looks pretty cool, but it's really not worth turning on. And I would personally take out the batteries so then it's lighter on your blaster, and therefore less likely that it would pop off your rail and you still get the cosmetic tactical cool points because it looks awesome. And really, are you gonna turn it on? Or if you're a modder, strip it out and replace the bulb and give it a nice powerful LED. That is the flashlight attachment. Now to the flip up sight. This looks familiar. This is the same as the original Long Strike flip up sight, and I believe they had one on the yellow Recon many years ago. So in the bottom, it has an in-strike attachment point to slide onto a rail. And these little orange thing in the down position as they are now, you can look through the back as if they're almost like iron sights, not really in your face, kind of subtle like aiming. But then if you want to get super tactical, you can flip them up and use like sort of like a grenade launcher sight system. So it looks cool. It's not going to help you aim, but it's pretty much like the Long Strike reskin flip up sight, but with white and green. So you don't have to put on the old, you know, blue Long Strike, or especially the old yellow Recon colors, and it'll work with your current gear. Whew, okay, that is the overview of the attachments in the blaster. Lots of stuff. This was a huge combo pack. 4 completely brand new attachments, plus a super dope stock. This whole kit, honestly, is probably my favorite thing I've unboxed like in years. The innovation here, I mean, the Ready Mag, very well executed, super cool, very functional. This stock being customizable for varying body sizes is both practical and super tactical. I mean, come on, man, that looks freaking awesome. But more little comments on everything in my opinion segment. So that is the overview of everything. Now let's see the blaster out on the range. Spoiler, it works just like a Demolisher. Starting with blue Nerf Elite darts. waffle head darts. Operating the Modulus Demolisher went just as expected. It performs just like the old Demolisher. I did not have any jams or malfunctions with the blaster or the missile launcher. Overall performed pretty well. I put both blasters up on my chronograph and I achieved an average velocity of 71 feet per second with the core dart-firing blaster. And with the missile launcher, achieved an average velocity of 48 feet per second using the included missiles. So it performs pretty well, just like the old Demolisher and just like most elite blasters on the market right now. And as I mentioned, the ergonomics of the Demolisher are kind of weird because it has like an integration already done. The missile launcher isn't standard, so your hand has to get used to it, but once it does, it is a usable blaster. The ergonomics are bizarre, but not like objectively bad or like misweighted or just like weird. So you'll get used to it, but I did not have any jams or malfunctions with either blaster. If I put all the attachments on at the same time, you really can't even like see because it all just blends together. It's just too much for one shot, which is so cool. So that's the overview and all of the objective information on this combo kit. Now to my personal opinion. Overall, I am super stoked for the Ultimate Customizer Pack's release. These new attachments are awesome. The stock is awesome. The Demolisher is a solid blaster, like it's not objectively flawed or anything, but I personally just don't field it that much because it's kind of bulky. It's pretty much a specialty blaster. If you don't have a good reason to be using missile launchers, it's a lot of bulk to add to the blaster. That being said, the execution here is solid. No jams or malfunctions. It performs just like other elite blasters on the market, and having a missile launcher attached to your primary is certainly useful for certain game types. But honestly, the core blaster here is so not why I'm excited. These attachments are just awesome. Like this stock, I saw a picture of it online like a few months ago and I was like, nah, that's Photoshop. That's way too freaking cool for Nerf. Looks like an SPR stock, like you'd find like on a sniper rifle. It looks freaking sweet. And there's a rail on the stock. Why do you want a rail on your stock? I don't care, but you can put whatever you want on there. Like the option there is awesome. And it's stable, which is super important if you want to put this on like a modified spring blaster, especially with 2 points of adjustability in length. It's not as wobbly as I was expecting. It works like normal Nerf stocks, which is surprising. Seriously, hats off to whoever designed this. I want to give you a high five, designer at Hasbro, who probably doesn't or certainly does not watch my videos. High five in spirit, bro. I know you're there. The Ready Mag is awesome if you're not using it or like you don't have a magazine. It's pretty low profile. And Ready Mags are awesome if you just want to have like one ultimate blaster just like this whole kit in no tactical gear. You have 3 extra missiles plus your extra magazine already loaded. So you can prep it, load it all, set it into a corner, and then you don't have to pick up like a vest or a backpack. You can just pick this up, have 2 mags, 4 missiles. You're ready for quite a battle. One note about the Ready Mag, you cannot invert which direction it goes. It attaches to pretty much the right side of the blaster. I'm a right-handed shooter. I'd want the mag on the left-hand side because my left hand is what I reload with. And flipping it like this makes it kind of awkward to do that and reload quickly. Whereas if you're left-handed, you can do this super fast. Bang, bang, bang. Good thing I train ambi, bro. Maybe I'll just play left-handed if I used a Ready Mag. Like an operator. Mechanically, the only solution I've thought of is to put another magazine release on the other side, so you can put a magazine in either way. That would allow you to put it on, you know, for right-handed or left-handed shooters. But that'd be more mechanically challenging and add a bunch of mass. So I get why they did it this way, but it is something of a weak point. It's not really a con or a design flaw, but it should be noted, which is why I noted it. Boom. The barrel attachment is super cool. Every time they come out with a barrel, I think, why don't you add another rail to it? And they did, but I don't know why they didn't put one over here. Maybe next time. Why would you need 4 rails on your barrel? I don't know, but they look cool. You know, the options, all those tactics. I like that the missile ammo holder can be adjusted so you can put it onto any rail. That adjustability is important so you can customize where you want this. So you can spin it around if you put it on your stock up front, you know, right or left-handed shooter or whatever. But there's a little bit too much wobble for my taste. I might just glue it down and kind of pick one orientation to just make sure it's stable. But we can't be really too picky because there's no other option to my knowledge to hold 3 Demolisher missiles on your blaster, which is super cool. And boy, this attachment, like, I feel like the designer of this just watched a bunch of my videos and he's like, this Coop guy complains about rails all the time. I'm just gonna make this so we can't complain, just to shut this kid up. I'm sure that's not how it happened, but that's what it feels like. And to that designer, also high five to you, sir. I like this thing. Having like a 3-way rail system like this to add 2 side rails would be pretty cool, but then it's also adjustable. Like, holy tactics, Batman, I can't even like get over this. I can't even get over this combo pack. Jeez, like every piece is my favorite. I really can't pick a favorite. There, that's my favorite, all 3. I cheated. And shoot, now that I say it, this is pretty much a solution to the problem I just said. Why not put a rail here? Now there's effectively a rail right there. So boom, problem solved. I feel like it's Transformers. I have so much stuff on this thing. It's so awesome. And all the colors work for your like Modulus Strife or the other white Modulus blasters. So awesome. So even if you don't care about the Demolisher, I still think it's totally worth it for, it's expensive with the blaster, but hardcore nerfers will no doubt be buying this, ignoring the Demolisher completely, and just using the other super cool attachments. I'm not sure if Nerf plans to release these attachments separately, like some of the things are sold separately as well as combined with blasters. I certainly hope they do because this stock is super cool. I mean, everything that I've just pointed out, super cool. But for a retail cost of about $90 US, including the blaster, including everything I'm holding here, it is more expensive. And especially if you're like me and you look at the Demolisher like, nah, I don't really care about that. I just want all these super cool attachments. $90 is kind of expensive. I'm still trying to think. I really can't pick a favorite. I like all of these attachments. They're super cool. The design, the execution, they work so well, and I'm just shocked that everything came out in one pack. Like this arrived on my doorstep early BT dubs, awesome for the shipping service. And I just lost my mind. Like I had to calm down before I could film the unboxing video, just looking at the thing. I just wanted to shred it apart, but naturally, I let my camera die. Had to wait for it to charge the longest hour of my freaking life. That's not true. It's the 90 seconds it takes to cook a Hot Pocket. What is with microwaves screwing with my perception of time? It takes forever. Getting off topic. That is my overview of the Ultimate Customizer Pack by Nerf. Super cool attachments. Let me know what you guys think. I can't tell if it's just me that I'm geeking out over every single one of these components because they're so cool. And it's also that much more epic that there's 4 brand new super cool things in one item. It's not like, oh, that's a really cool stock. That'd be cool if the stock was like included with a generic blaster or whatever, but they have 4 things launching at the same time. It's like, whoa, whoa. I'm getting amped up about these attachments. Might reboot the Nerf combo series. What do you guys think? But I'm beginning to ramble, so if you're interested in purchasing the Ultimate Customizer Pack, I'll put a buy link in the description box below. That's it for this video review. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical. Did I just break that? Oh.